The Knicks were so close to getting what could have arguably been their grittiest win of the season in Indianapolis, but they fell short, losing to the Pacers 111-106 in Game 3 of the Eastern Conference semis. Let's talk about the game and preview Game 4, and we're going to do it with New York Post Knicks beat writer Stefan Bondy, who joins me now from Naptown. And talked to Steph about this before we started recording. He hadn't heard Naptown as a nickname for Indianapolis, and Steph is not sleeping. He's with us. He's not napping. How you doing, Steph?
Great. I was just saying, why would you want to be called Naptown? It doesn't sound very flattering. Like you want to go there and take a nap. But, thanks for educating me on the nickname of Indianapolis. So I appreciate that.
There you go. I do agree. It's not necessarily the most flattering nickname. I can't disagree with you on that there. But as I said, Steph isn't napping. He's here with us to talk about the Knicks. So let's do it. And Steph, this was a game where the Knicks got down double digits early. They fought back and got a lead, but then they lost it in the final seconds. What do you think went wrong for them in those crucial moments? I said seconds. I really meant final minute there. But what do you think went wrong for them in the final minute or so of this game?
Well, even to take it back before that last minute, I think they had a long stretch there where their offense was doing nothing. And maybe you could blame it on tired legs and the lack of depth that they have now, because there's only so much you can rely on Alec Burks, and he certainly had some big moments last night. But I think there was a long stretch there in the fourth quarter where the offense just went completely stagnant. And then you get down to the final plays. Listen, Andrew Nembhard hit a miracle. Tyrese Halliburton gave him that grenade, and I didn't think anybody in that arena thought that ball was going in. He actually bobbled it. He lost control of it on the gather, and the Knicks played some really solid defense on that play. And then on the following possession with the chance to tie it, Jalen Brunson was certainly anticipating the foul. Whether he got fouled or not is up for debate, and then he threw up a brick. So, I had, as I was writing that game story, I was calling it you could put this win, assuming the Knicks were going to win, on Mount Gritmore, just because of what they had to get through to, in terms of the numbers and the injuries to be in the situation to win that game, but they weren't able to pull it out. And like I said, it took a pretty much of a miracle shot from Andrew Nembhard to put the Knicks away.
Yeah, it really did. I like that term you used there, that Tyrese Halliburton handed him the grenade, because that's exactly what happened there. Now, you talked about some of the calls, Steph. Coach Thibodeau, he expressed some frustrations with the officiating at the end of the game. How significant do you think those calls were to the outcome, and how is the team responding to that frustration?
Listen, I'm done talking about the officiating. I'm done. I don't want to talk about it anymore. No team in the NBA loses anymore. They just feel like they didn't get enough calls. So, listen, there's a reason why the coaches in the NBA have video people monitoring every single foul call before they want to challenge it, because they have the benefit of looking at a slow motion replay that the referees don't. And if they were so confident, all these coaches, Rick Carlisle, Tom Thibodeau, everybody, if they were so confident the referees were making such bad calls as it was happening, they would challenge it without these video replays, and they would be 100% on the challenge calls. I think it's just become, I'm done talking about it. I don't want to talk about the officiating anymore, so I'm just going to leave it at that.
No. I'm with you on this, and I'm even mad that I feel like when I'm doing these interviews that I have to ask you about it, right? Because it takes away from us talking about the nuances of the game and what happened with the Knicks and how they lost the rebounding battle on the offensive glass. We should be talking about that and not the officiating.
Yeah, and to the credit of the players, they took responsibility, and They gave up a bunch of offensive rebounds down the stretch there. That's their bread and butter, is grabbing those boards. And granted, a couple of them were just long rebounds off three-pointers that, it's not a matter of boxing somebody out. It's just bad luck. But I think they took culpability and responsibility for losing that game. Now, listen, that Jalen Brunson call at the end could have changed things. They didn't get the call. It is what it is. It seems to be going both ways. And the only time any team has a reason, the only time the team complains at the end is when they lose. You never hear a team complaining about the officiating after they win. So I'm done with it. I understand. It's a strategic game of trying to get the calls for the next game, but I don't have to play along with it.
No, you don't, and we don't have to talk about it anymore. So, when you see Steph and I do these interviews, no more talking about the officials. We're moving on. We're going to keep it to the game. All right, in this game, Steph, Alec Burks, he stepped up significantly in Game 3. Can you talk about his impact and what this means for the team and his playing time going forward into Game 4?
Well, I think it's important because they need another scorer. Obviously, we've been saying this for a while, but Alec Burks is one of the few players on this roster that can create for himself and really get you a bucket when you're in a pinch. Now, sometimes he takes it a little too far. He doesn't pass when he should, and I think he isolates a lot when he shouldn't. But they need somebody like that sometimes when Jalen Brunson is either out of the game or not feeling it or not 100% healthy. So I think he played a big role in the first half, certainly. And, in the fourth quarter, I can't really remember the play, but he took a bad shot, I think. And Tibbs immediately recognized, you know what, this is probably not going to work. And he took him out and he brought in Miles McBride. So, as long as Thibodeau is understanding, hey, if Alec Burks has got it going, because we saw during that COVID year, Alec Burks, when he is hot, man, he's he's the guy you want to give the ball to. So as long as Thibodeau is understanding and recognizing that, we could play him during when he's feeling it and maybe, take him out when he's not because he's going to shoot it anyway, then I think it's a very positive thing for the Knicks.
Yeah, definitely positive minutes for Alec Burks there in Game 3. And Steph, now with the series at 2-1, another game in Indianapolis. How much pressure is on the Knicks to win Game 4?
Yeah, I think there's pressure for every single playoff game other than if you're up 3-0. I think you can say that's the least pressure that the team is feeling. But anytime even if it's 2-0, there's pressure. If it's 2-1, there's pressure. If it's 2-2, it's going to be pressure. 3-2 pressure. I think there's not any more pressure on this game coming up than there has been for the previous three. So, yeah, I mean, the Knicks is, you don't need to get motivated for these type of games. It's just a matter of how healthy are they going to be and how will Jalen Brunson, can he be that mega star that he's shown throughout the playoffs? I think those are the biggest questions.
Yeah, those are the biggest questions. That brings me to my last question, Steph, because we know with the health and everything with the Knicks, no OG Anunoby, Jalen Brunson banged up. Who are the key players to watch for the Knickerbockers in Game 4, and what will their impact need to be in that game for New York to secure a win?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go with two. I'm going to go because they need, with OG Anunoby out again, they're going to need Precious Achiuwa and Miles McBride to step up. And I don't think they really did in the last game. The Knicks relied a lot on Dante DiVincenzo to come up with probably his best playoff game, certainly his best shooting playoff game. So I'm going to look for those two guys to really make an impact. They're going to need something else. And the shorthandedness of this team, it feels like they take it as far as they can, but they're going to need something else from those two players I mentioned.
Yeah, it's going to need that to happen. We'll see if those players are able to step up, and if the Knicks can get a win, that might put them on, I believe you called it Mount Gritmore, if they can get a win in Game 4 with all the injuries they have going on. That is Stephen Bondy. He is not talking about officiating. He's talking about the game out in Naptown. He'll have you covered for the New York Post with Game 4. Steph, we will talk soon, and enjoy the game.
All right, man. Thank you.